On the 31st of August 1939, the new ocean liner SS America was launched at Newport News, Virginia by First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. She was the flagship of a new American merchant marine. Designed by William Francis Gibbs for the United States Line, she couldn't serve on the North Atlantic due to the Second World War. The America was described as a modern and comfortable vessel, capable of carrying over 1,200 passengers, a showcase of modern American style and comfort. But, in June 1941, she was drafted into military service as the troopship West Point. The former luxury liner and beauty queen was used throughout the war to transport Allied service personnel safely to their destinations. When the war ended, she received a complete refit and returned to passenger service. Unlike the more famous European liners of the time, the America was modest in size and much slower, but was popular for excellent service and extra time at sea. It helped when she was joined by the superliner United States in 1952. By the early 1960s, ocean liners couldn't compete with jet travel and the beloved America was sold to the Greek shipping company Chundros Line. The old ship was reborn as the migrant liner Australis, on the Europe-Australia service. Despite competition from newer ships, she maintained a close following with loyal passengers. Most of them were hopeful migrants wanting to start a new life. The Australis continued until 1977 when the Australian migrant trade had dried up. She made her final voyage with Chundros in November of that year. Surprisingly, she was then sold to Venture Cruises and renamed the America, for a series of short-distance cruises out of New York. However, the refit had not been completed in time for her first voyage and resulted in a mutiny from passengers. The press later dubbed her as the cockroach ship. The liner's once glorious reputation was ruined. Her owners soon filed for bankruptcy and put the America up for auction. Who was next to buy the ship? It was none other than Chundros, her previous owners. They brought her back to Europe and was refitted for cruising in the eastern Mediterranean as the Italis, but Chundros found it too costly to give the worn-out ship the refit necessary to compete with newer vessels, despite removing one of her funnels. The Italis was retired from service and laid up in Eleusis, Greece to await her final fate. After many happy years carrying passengers, her future looked bleak and dismal. In May 1980, she was sold to Intercommerce Corporation and renamed Noga, for use as a Swiss hotel off West Africa, but remained laid up. The ship was then sold to Silver Moon Ferries in 1984 and changed her name to the Alphados, meaning paradise in Arabic. They had a variety of different plans to reuse her: a floating hotel in Beirut, Lebanon, a prison ship in Galveston, Texas, an exhibition center in Montreal, Canada, and even an elaborate yacht club in Australia. In the end, the old America was only fit for scrap and the process to dismantle the liner commenced in 1989, 50 years after she was launched. However, after removing the lifeboats and davits, the scrappers pulled out. Not even they could finish off the neglected ship. What was going to happen next? In 1992, the Kayafraya Development and Transportation Company of Thailand bought the Alphados with the idea to restore her as a 5-star hotel off Phuket. She was finally renamed the American Star, a hopeful promise for a brighter future. But it was not to be. Whilst being towed to her new home, the American Star broke free from her tow during a storm and grounded off Fuerteventura, Canary Islands, on the 18th of January 1994. Mountainous waves pounded the once proud ocean liner until she finally broke her back and surrendered to the sea. It was a sad end for what was once the pride of the American merchant marine.